Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. Today, I am so excited to be joined and interviewing the remarkable Jules Brooke, who I've known for a number of years now. Jules is on a mission to raise the visibility of women in business, especially those over the age of 45. And she helps them share their story, amplify their voice, and step into the spotlight. With a background in PR, media, and entrepreneurship, she brings serious energy, heart, and strategy to making women of experience feel seen and celebrated. And my gosh, this lady is glitter everywhere. Welcome to The Glitter Effect, Jules Brooke.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. What a lovely introduction.
Well, I think there's way more to it, which we will unpack right now. So I will let our listeners know that I've known you for a number of years now. I actually don't know how many, but we met when I was still working in PR, and
Yes.
we've worked together over a few years. And you've become a really good mentor for me, and you are incredible. But enough about me. This is about you.
Yeah.
Tell me and the listeners about your journey and how you've come to land at this space that you're in.
Okay. Great question. And it's all kind of come about thanks to the pandemic, to be honest.
Right.
I think it's a combination of the pandemic and me turning 50. And I often say that when women turn 50, I don't know why, and I don't know whether it's just women, but certainly what I've noticed is that this kind of switch goes off in your head and you stop caring what other people think and you start going, I'm actually on a mission and I know what I want to do. And I accidentally in 2019 I got a TV interview on a new TV show called Ticker. And on the back of that, he gave me a show, and I decided that I wanted to do a show about women in business because I feel that you don't see very many of them on TV. And on the back of that, I learned a whole lot of stuff about women in business that I didn't know, about the inequality, about the fact that the opportunities just aren't there. And it started with me discovering that women can't get funding from venture capital firms. And then it kind of went on from there.
Right.
And so that sort of started me on a mission. I've always been, I haven't read the book, but what they call a super connector. So somebody who, I've got that brain where I remember what people are doing and I can connect them and go, you two should talk for whatever reason.
I can attest to that. You're incredible at that.
Thank you. So I started doing that, started running online events, realized that women over 50, a lot of them are lacking in confidence.
Yeah.
And I also felt that with what's going on in employment, that a lot of women are reaching 50 or around 50 and being made redundant, and it's very hard to get another job. So I decided that I'd help women start businesses and connect them, because the other thing is when you're running a business, it can be very lonely if you're only one person or a couple of people. So that's really kind of my mission. And then I guess the only other thing is that in 2023, at the end of 2023, I discovered that only 30% of women are speaking on stages. And I know so many women that want that opportunity.
Yep.
So I started a directory in a little group under the brand Australian Women Speakers. And I am determined to get that stat to 50-50.
Which is great. Why do you think that is, though, Jules? I mean, I know this is a big, well talked about topic. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I've just done a survey, interestingly, of 181 women. I think there's a combination of they're very hard to find. I think in general, when I went looking, where can you go and find women speakers outside of speaker bureaus, it was all individual profiles. And we know that people ask through word of mouth. But I think there's another thing, which is women don't push themselves forward and they don't ask for money. They don't think that they can do it unless they're sort of super overqualified. I think that's a confidence issue for women as well.
Yeah. And in this space too, why do you think now is the right time to talk about it?
I don't know. I feel like something happened over the lockdowns because I started, as you said, I love sharing stories of women. And so I started a podcast and a YouTube channel, and I've probably interviewed about 450 women now.
Yep.
And Oh my God, I've forgotten the question. What was the question?
Why
Why now?
now? Why now?
Yeah. And I feel like there's a movement. I feel like something shifted over the lockdowns and that women started talking about how about we actually do something about this rather than just talking about it all the time. And I've spoken now to women in the UK and America, all over the world. Iceland, doesn't matter. They're all the same. Everybody
Yeah.
has got this vibe about, okay, we've got to help ourselves.
That was actually going to be my next question. Is this a worldwide thing? Which that surprises me if you say in like across Europe, across the world. So it's an issue in many countries.
Yes.
And then you go, well, what, you're leading the charge, clearly.
Well, maybe in my own little world I am, yes.
Yeah, that's good. So what is your dream? What do you hope then? What are you trying to achieve from it all?
I guess I hope to communicate, I guess, and inspire women to give it a go and
Mm.
just say, rather than retiring and going, I'm really lonely and I'm really out of touch, rather than doing that, that they go, you know what, I might just start a business and do something that has some impact in the world, which is another thing that really drives women.
Yeah.
I just found out that 50% of all social enterprises in the world have been started by women, and over
Wow.
200 million people are employed by women in these social enterprises. So it's really interesting, isn't it?
That's great.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
And so this journey for you, it's obviously been highs and lows. What have
Oh,
been the
yes.
high? Yeah. As with everything, what have been the highest highs and what have been the lowest lows, and how have you got through them?
Oh gosh, look, the highest highs you just celebrate. You just, celebrate with friends. I think it's the lows that are really interesting for people. I have discovered about myself, and that's another thing that probably happened over the pandemic, how mentally strong I am, that I
Yeah.
really am very, very resilient. And so what I'd like to do is help other women feel that way as well. I
Yeah.
think that really I want to give women confidence and I want to make them realize how amazing they are. And
Mm,
that really turning 50 these days is really like turning 30. We've got many years in front of us and we don't all have to sit home and start knitting. We
yeah.
can, all those things that our grandparents did are not really relevant to us anymore. So part of the survey that we did, we discovered that I think it's something like 60% of the women wanted to work past 70.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and I think it's because they are doing purpose-driven businesses. And
Yeah.
so it's a joy and a delight, and they just want to make that impact. But isn't
Which
that interesting?
That's so interesting. And that's the glitter effect, though. Exactly
Yeah,
that, isn't it? It's that
yep.
purpose and then leading with heart. And once you've found that, it's bingo. You're on it.
Well, and you're no longer really working. You're starting to do something that you just really love and that you think you can make a difference in.
100%. And look, I think as well, the role of women in society has changed
Yes.
over the last few decades as well. And we're seeing obviously more women in different roles.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on that? And where, we obviously there's the balance, isn't there? My husband and I always talk about this balance and that it will have to
Yes.
go back at some point. What are your thoughts on all of that? Are we making enough noise in this space, or can more be made, and what more can be done?
Look, I mean, more needs to be done. We still have pay gaps. We still have super gaps. We still have um, women over 50 as the fastest growing homeless sector in Australia, which is really kind of mind blowing.
That's crazy.
So yes, there's a lot of work still to be done. But I think that there's a lot of people jumping into this space and doing something. And if we all pick a lane and go hard in our lane, that I think sort of across the landscape, it'll happen. And I do think that there's loads of men who also see it and
Mm,
want to make those changes happen and are supporting their partners and wives and sisters and daughters to get there.
yeah.
So I do think that there's a community spirit around this that everybody wants to see it changed. It's just that there's a lot of unconscious bias. There's a whole lot of stuff that we don't think about that is preventing those opportunities for women. And I guess it's for us to point them out and try and do something about them.
Yeah, and keep talking about them. And now we're seeing as well in some professions at unis in particular, and I'm talking about, I know this because my husband's an engineer, and there's incentives to try and get more
Mm.
females into a lot of those spaces. Do you think that's working, or do you think, what are your thoughts on all of that, and how is that translating, do you think, moving forward?
Well, I think we see it in politics. So we've seen that when there are quotas, and I know quotas are so polarizing for people,
Yeah.
but when there are quotas, change does happen.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we need to create those opportunities for women. So yes, I do think quotas are needed. I don't believe, there's a lot of talk out there, particularly from some men who feel really sidelined, that it's not fair, and that we shouldn't just be taking a woman for the sake of a woman, or a coloured person for the sake of them being coloured. And I absolutely agree with that. But that's not the point. The point is, go and find somebody who is qualified in that space and make room for them, bring them in, because the diversity that we want across everything is so important. Sorry, I just have to say something that always makes me laugh. In the Barbie movie, remember in the Barbie movie, when she goes running back to the real world and bursts into the boardroom?
Yes.
And it's like 16 grey-haired men. Barbie. It's that I think. And those men wouldn't have seen how ridiculous that was. But it's that kind of thing that I think we need to change.
Yeah. And look, I think, like you say, in so many sectors that is changing. But then you've also got the flip side of that, where you've got, I suppose, all the professions where it is more female heavy.
Dominated, yeah.
Like
primary school teaching, childcare, marketing and social media are almost completely dominated by women.
Yeah.
So, and there's room for men to come into those spaces as well. But I guess I love working with refugees. I love working with women of colour. I love working with women with disabilities, because they need a lift up more than anyone. And we've all got the privilege to be able to help them.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's something that we've got to be really conscious of. And I often talk at my She's the Boss events that it's not really like all of us need to help each other, but really we need to keep an eye out for those people that are being pushed down and see if we can help them to rise as well.
Yeah, that's so good. And it's so simple. Everyone can do it.
Yeah,
even on a busy week, everyone can do that.
I often say, just go and think around your circle, or think slightly outside your circle of who could you help, because it could make a massive difference to them.
Yeah.
And if we're going to talk about the glitter effect and what it's like to help other people, there is such an adrenaline rush that you get from helping people.
Yeah.
All of us do. We all feel like that's better than money, really, just in terms of what it does to us and how it makes us feel. So if you can help someone every day, you're going to feel bloody fantastic all the time.
Yeah, and you always bring so much energy. You're 110% energy and glitter throwing left, right and centre, as I said in your intro.
Makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, that's it. It does.
That's kind of selfish in some ways.
It's not selfish. It's actually, it's. Well, I suppose I know what you mean, but it's you found your worth.
I have, it works on every level. To help other people works on every level. Helps you, helps them, helps you feel good, helps them feel good. There's no downside to it.
Yeah. And are there any stories that have really stuck with you that make you go, this is why I do what I do?
Oh my gosh. The one that really strikes me and is a woman called Cherie, who is a First Nations woman who lives in outback New South Wales, who joined the group a couple of years ago and came to one of our online lunches. So one of the things that I do is I run online lunches for women. Used to be every week, then went to fortnightly, now it's monthly.
Yeah.
She turned up at one of our events, online events, and we said, how can we help you? She's an amazing artist, like just doing fantastic dot paintings and all sorts of stuff. And anyway, we just sort of got to know her and chatted to her and whatever. And at the end, she sent me a message and she said, I'm bawling my eyes out. I cannot believe that there are women out there who are so supportive. I've never experienced this before.
Oh.
And I hear this a lot, that women go, oh my God, I didn't realize there were so many women out there that would support me and help me. So it's those moments, I think. And I do get quite a lot of those where you know that you've really changed someone's life. There's another woman who you probably have interviewed. I'm not sure, Jodie Hollis. And so Jodie joined She's the Boss group. She'd started her Cancer Support Angels charity. And when she came to the lunch, she said she'd spent part of her super, she'd sold her house, she'd done everything to fund this charity. And her charity, as well as looking after people with the not so sexy cancers, also, which I'd never thought of, helps people financially too.
Yeah.
because, of course, if you're going into chemo and hospital, you can't earn. Anyway, she was saying that she was really struggling to find anyone to donate for her support kits. I can't remember what they're called, angel packs, I think.
Yeah.
And in that one lunch, we said, well, what do you do? And she said, I give them a tea bag, a chocolate, a little journal to write their stuff, whatever. And in that lunch, everybody between us, we managed to fulfill all the things that she wanted.
Amazing.
Between us, because, you know, the journal, somebody worked in publishing and printing. And so she said, oh, I can get you the journals. You know, somebody else helped her with the tea bags. It was just beautiful. So that's the magic, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And I think we've got to a point where we are scared to ask, whereas in history, it tells us that we've always helped each other. And I think we get to a point now where we have to feel like we're so self-sufficient and that you shouldn't ask because everyone's got their own things. But in actual fact, as you've just highlighted, that's not the case.
No, and I think the other thing, there was a really great talk I heard from a guy must be about 10 years ago now, and it's really struck in my head. And it is that we all like to be asked to help.
Yeah.
And why are you denying other people that opportunity to feel good by not asking for help? It's a really hard thing to get your head around sometimes, you know, that you don't want to be that vulnerable, but you're actually going to make somebody else feel good if they can help you. So that's another way of thinking of it.
I like that. That's really good. Now, you've obviously inspired lots of people. As we've said, you've touched on lots of people's hearts and helped them, but you've been inspired by a number of people along the way. And I like to call them the glitter kings and queens. Who have been your glitter kings and queens that have inspired you to be the person you are today or along the journey?
Well, firstly, I have to say there are so many. When I knew I had to come up with some people, I was like, oh my God, where am I going to go? So I've decided I'm going to, I live in the inner west of Melbourne, and we are a really strong community. We have a lot of refugees here, and we have a big gap between the haves and the have-nots because of, you know, Yarraville, and then we've got Footscray and Sunshine and things like that. So I decided I'd focus on the people that are helping in this area. The first one I want to talk about is my ex-neighbour, who is a woman I love and adore. Faye Salem de Mézières works for the West Welcome Wagon, which is a community initiative that was set up to help refugees with their houses. So they arrive, they often get given a house, but they've got no furniture, they've got nothing. So she actually goes around and haunts all sorts of local businesses and other businesses and gets them fridges and sofas and beds. And it's really, really inspiring. And I've watched her absolutely flourish doing this because it really feeds her soul as well. Another one is Athena Thompson and Andy Fitall. They are fantastic local movers and shakers. And really, when I started She's the Boss, Athena came over to my place, I would say every day for about a month, just helping me set it up. She's just amazing. She helps people with grant applications. She and Andy have set up a thing called Ground Level, which is a local small business group. Andy also tonight is running a thing called Dad Stock, which is about getting dads to connect, and they're all having a bit of a dad's night. He also ran during the lockdown a coffee business called In Other Good News, where he delivers coffee in the area and gives all the money to the food bank.
Yeah.
And he also runs the Good People podcast. So they are really good people, and talk about, you know, inspiring when you watch people doing things like that. And then the last one is Jess McDonald, who's become a really good friend of mine. She runs a business called High Teas, and she partners with all sorts of community groups and charities and does these amazing T-shirts to draw attention to causes and things. And one that struck me was she did the periodic table, and she did it all with female scientists. And she's done it with female artists for Oz Music. She does these great T-shirts that say community, that everybody in the community wears. And she does things with West Welcome Wagon and things like that as well.
Amazing.
So 3 amazing people that live near me.
That's amazing. And look at it, I think, and what's something that they've taught you or sort of imparted with you that is your takeaway?
Well, I guess with all of them, and it's the same thing with me, is how much it can light you up to help other people. I think that's really the takeaway that I've got from all of this, and from listening to anyone who's like that, is how much they feel passionate about it, and how I admire that passion that drives them forward to make that change happen.
And you've got a huge amount of energy. What's
Yes.
next? Which you need, and you emulate that everywhere. What's next for She's the Boss and women, your Women Speakers Directory, and what else is on the horizon for you coming up?
Well, I turn 60 next year, so I reckon I've got probably another 10 years that I want to go hard, and then I'll slow down a little bit. I want She's the Boss to connect and inspire as many women as possible. I actually have had a whole lot of Swinburne students work on it recently with me, and they've been saying you should take it through Asia Pacific. So they said Hong Kong, Singapore, and I thought I love India. So maybe there's an opportunity there.
Yep.
But otherwise, I want to just grow it in Australia. And with women speakers, I very clearly just want to change that stat to 50-50 and make women easier to find. So there's no excuses with, oh, we couldn't find a woman. That's why we've got 6 men on the stage.
Yeah. Now, finally, as well, if people want to just find out more about She's the Boss or the directory, is it open to anyone?
She's the Boss is really for women running businesses who are over 45, 50-ish. And you can find out all about it at she'sthebossgroup.com.
Yep.
And Women Speakers is going to have a bit of a new relaunch in Feb, because I've got these stats. So we've decided we'll do this survey stuff and send it out all just before International Women's Day. So, and people can get to that at womenspeakers.com.au if they're looking for one. And there's also groups for Australian women speakers on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Yeah, great. So if anyone's looking for a speaker, they can come to you. But also if people want to sign up to be a speaker and on the directory, they can come to you as well. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Amazing. Jules Brooke, one last question. What would you, it's kind of a question without notice too.
Okay.
I know you'll be fine. What would be your lasting legacy that you want people to remember you by?
I think I just want people to remember me by the fact that I've supported women and that I've made a change and that I've, helped them.
Yeah. Amazing.
Known as a helper.
Oh, you're more than that, but yes, that's one of your big glitter things. Jules, yeah, it's okay. I haven't had coffee yet, you can tell. Jules, thank you so much for your time today. The wisdom and inspiration that you've shared with us today is beyond inspiring. The glitter trail you are leaving as you lead the charge for a positive change for women, and how you share your story is exactly what the glitter effect is all about. I've no doubt that you've helped so many women and men, and I think who will think about business differently, as well as giving them a voice they may not have had before now. You've ensured that women in business know they're visible, they matter, and that their story is worth telling. You are a shining example of a glitter queen, and I am absolutely thrilled to know you and have you in my circle. Thank you for being you, and I hope everybody's taken something out of our talk today. I wish you all the very best with what's to come, and I look forward to seeing you at our next catch-up. Take care, Jules. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Kate.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Ganneil, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.